what's up, everybody, and happy International Drone Day from 2K Drones. I'm your host, Chuck, from Kovaction Droneography, and my good buddy Keith. Good morning, good afternoon, good everything.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Hi, I'm okay, thanks, Chuck. How are you?
I'm good. I'm pretty excited. I mean, this is like, we should all be flying our drones and not watching TV, but if you guys are watching TV and you're watching us, we're glad you're here. I think we're gonna have some fun people on too.
We are. Now, talking of guests, would you like to introduce all of our guests that we have today?
Want to bring them in all at once or one at a time?
I'll bring them in one at a time. I'll keep the suspense up.
Keep the suspense up. Well, we have to start with the one and only newscaster, Inspector Clouseau, Henry Robotic. Hey, Henry, you're muted. Why are you muted? There you are. Henry, what you been up to the past week since we last met? Any good news stories?
Not much, actually. It's been a lot of school and stuff, so yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. The wife says, I bring her in. She didn't say hello to Henry though. Oh, there it is.
Well, she did. She probably commented. She doesn't realize how many people we've got sitting in the forum.
We got a lot of people here.
Yeah, we're going to have a few people today.
Well, Henry, we'll get back to you later. I know you have some interesting. Henry has some. It's not the typical news that we go over. Henry has some pretty interesting bits to discuss. So I think this will be good when we get to it. But we have two other very special guests joining us today, and I'm really excited. We're really excited to have them both with us.
This is gonna be great.
In randomized order, I guess we'll go alphabetical.
Alphabetical, might as well.
And numbers come first.
Can you let me into the secret? Okay, right.
So from the far western end of the United States, not even the continental United States, but the big island of Hawaii, we bring in 808 State.
Aloha.
Dude, aloha.
Hello.
Aloha.
And good morning.
Good evening,
very
Keith.
Good morning.
Yeah, these two guys opposite corners. They're day and night, literally.
It is strange to think that we're quite close. And yeah, it's like 19. It's weird. Time zones, eh? Would you like to bring in our final guest, Chuck?
Yes, from Denver, Colorado. None other than Art of Art Code Drones.
Hi, Art.
How are you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
How's your membership going, Art? Because I think you're doing an amazing thing, and I hope you're getting take up.
Yeah, I got a little uptick, some changes with the channel that I announced last week, where I am going to try to reach out to the disabled community and introduce them to drones and get them involved in it.
It's super awesome. Cool. I'm busy copying old classic videos right now for Art to use for people who join membership with the channel. So I've joined. You guys all consider joining. It's for a really good cause too. And Art's an awesome dude for doing this. I can't wait to see videos, Art, of these people flying them around. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Well,
go on. Sorry.
I've reached out to Craig Rehabilitation Hospital, sent them an email, haven't heard back from yet. I suspect since we're coming off the COVID restrictions, things are going to start moving probably rather slowly. So hopefully I got in just in time to get the ball rolling, so to speak. Take it away, Keith.
I like that. Take it away, Keith.
I'm sorry, hang on. I'm looking at the wrong stream. I'm suddenly realizing, why is there such a delay? And Art's still talking, and I'm like, I can't hear him. I'm looking at the YouTube.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
That was an amateur mistake.
Yeah, it's a rookie mistake.
I wanted to ask 808 State, what island of in Hawaii are you on? Are you on the main island or
the Big Island? It's like the one all the way in the bottom.
And because my mum used to go there. I had a lot. She went to Kauai, I think, because she used to go swimming with
all
dolphins.
the other side.
Yeah, she
other
went
end.
swimming with dolphins there. It looks utterly beautiful. I know I live in Thailand, but you've got like volcanoes and other fun things like that there that we don't get here. We just get-
Dinosaurs
Yeah.
well, we do get dinosaurs
in the
here,
right
or not.
movie.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if any of you guys have seen a clip. I sent it to Chuck the other day. A clip going viral of this what looks like a great big lizard climbing up.
Do you still have that? Do you
I
have
saw
that?
that in the
and seeing-
supermarket, right?
Yeah. That was about 30 minutes from here, right? But the other night I was out doing my nightly slog around the village because I'm on this exercise kick. So I was walking around and it was dark. And this is a walled village, I might point out. And then I suddenly heard this. And I've looked up, and no word of a lie, 2 meter long monitor lizard is coming towards me. Great big thing. Then he sees me and turns around, and I've never heard them, seen them move so quiet. You just heard this. He'd sit down the road. Oh god, it was a close encounter. I've never come across anything. I've seen them outside, but not in the village. That was a bit sort of interesting, I should say.
I think we have to shout out some people who are.
We do.
We have people watching.
Yeah.
We do. Yes, let's say hello to Jesse over at Drone Viral. Hi, Jesse.
As always.
AZ Drone dude. Hello, Chuck.
Hey, Z-Drone, dude.
And Laurie says hello, Art.
Yeah.
And
Lori and
hello
Art have
to
a thing going, I think. I guess. Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
this guy called Art saying hello to everyone. we have my mate. We have my buddy Gareth. Hi, Gareth. How you doing,
Hey, Gareth.
Hey, Gareth.
And yes, so hello to everybody in the chat. Henry, you've got some news stories for us. You've got some interesting stuff to chat about.
Yes, I do. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen.
Bring it up.
So the first kind of like
That's me.
news story or stories I'm gonna share are just drones for good. And it's kind of been a really, really slow news week in terms of drones. I don't think there are any new leaks. I will talk about leaks later, though. So, yeah, I'm just gonna start off by talking about drones actually doing good, firefighting, and maybe even cleaning up waterways. So, this article from Drone Life actually says that drones could use trash ID. And actually go into rivers and collect trash, and I think that's something we should talk about. Drones actually doing good.
That is really cool. I heard about the firefighting thing earlier. In fact,
Right here.
yeah, yep. Well, we're already. Yeah, I think you know what? Have you ever seen those bombs that they look like a ball, like a dodgeball, about this big, almost big as your head, and people throw them into dumpsters and it puts out dumpster fire stuff. They kind of go poof, they blow up and they put out the fire. Can you imagine if a drone could deploy those things like with a potato gun or something on the front?
Hey, yeah, that's a good idea.
And then go back and reload and just have a whole swarm of drones going and launching these ball things that explode and put out fires. I mean, it's pretty cool. Be pretty awesome.
Cool.
All right. And if you guys want to move on, for my second story, I guess, I was just going to be talking about all the.
I just wanted, before you move, sorry, I was momentarily distracted because somebody popped in and then
Somebody
disappeared
popped
again.
in and popped out. Yeah.
So we'll see what that was. What was I going to say? I saw a drone the other day. Funny enough, it's the first time I've seen it here, inspecting the power lines because we've got some sort of long spaced
It's a really good
power
application
lines
for a drone.
near the house, and they had a great. It looked like a Matrox. It was a big drone, and it makes a change from seeing some guy up a bamboo ladder, which is what you usually see here. But that's no word of a lie. But they had a great big Matrox expecting the power line, so that's pretty cool. And I believe they're doing it in other countries as well. It's not just here.
I think that's a great application, especially for a spot like Thailand or even like where 808 is on the big island of Hawaii or into the islands where the infrastructure is kind of dragged out, very inaccessible regions, but it's there. What a cool way to inspect stuff.
Yeah.
They're using it for farming as well. There's a few farms around here, or out towards the sort of, because there's many different regions, but the sort of agricultural section of Thailand is sort of northeast of Bangkok. And there was a program on the other day which my wife got me to start watching, where they're using drones to in agriculture and farming. So they will use drones to spray the crops and things like that, as opposed to sort of more traditional the sort of tractor things that you see and stuff, because apparently it's more accurate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And in Oz, apparently somebody started using drones to sort of round up cattle and things like that. You know, gone are the days of like the Australian guy on his horse doing it. They're getting drone. He's sitting in the car with his great big drone rounding him up.
That's cool. It's just the beginning, but I do like the firefighting thing is a super cool idea. But I don't know if water is going to be the answer. But there are definitely other means of technology to use with drones to help.
Hey,
very bright future for drones.
We have royalty in our. It's Mr. John Coopy. Hello, Coopy. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
But yes, okay, Henry. Sorry, I just I was momentarily.
That's good.
Just say, here's Johnny.
All right. So the next story I'm going to go on to is the hundreds and hundreds of sketches of new drones. So infamous sketches here of the Mavic 3. And so a lot of people, when these come out, they get really excited for something new coming. And every time I say, well, it's just a sketch, and it always ends up being just a sketch. And I really wanted to talk about sketches and leaks. I have learned over a long time and a lot of leaks that sketches are just 99% of the time they're just random stuff that never end up coming true.
That's the Mini 3.
I'm just doing this
the Mini 3
section to tell people just don't believe in sketches. Just as a rule of thumb, when you see a sketch, don't get excited because it's probably nothing. And we always see a constant stream of insiders, drawing sketches and that sort of stuff, and it never ever comes to fruition. So I'm just putting it out here, just because I had nothing else to say. Don't believe in any of the leaked sketches that end up online. Because
it is interesting because we know that DJI are going to bring a third drone out, like in the sort of pro consumer series, because I will say this. I mean, this is the Air 2S, right? This is a semi pro consumer drone, but it isn't really. There's a few things missing from it that make it a full pro consumer, like that one, like the drone that 808 State just got himself. By the way, have you tracked down that battery? Because I was watching you on Ken's stream the other day.
Yeah, no, it's gone.
Yeah, I saw you on there. Yeah.
Are you going to be able to get it back or claim for one? Or
well, I claimed the insurance on that whole package. I went through the whole thing because everything was soaking wet, and I wasn't sure if it's going to work. So apparently it did work, but they haven't just not reviewed it yet. It's like still under review, like. So I don't know. So I lost two batteries on that whole thing. So.
Well, at least the drone is flying though. At least the drone is operational.
Yeah, it is. So, and I got the charger working. My brother was working on it, and it had a broken capacitor, so that is working. So the charger is all good.
Cool.
And technically seen, I'm only out 2 stickers and 2 batteries.
Oh, it could have been worse, I guess.
Yeah.
I see Chris is in the house. Hey, Chris. Happy International Drone Day, dude.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Drone Phoenix.
Phoenix is in the house.
but going back to the Mavic 3, I mean, we saw pictures of this 5 months ago. Well, 6 months ago now, and everybody said, that was a concept for the Mavic Air 2, and it wasn't a real drone. So I still maintain that based upon DJI's recent sort of ability to send leaks, it's turned on again.
We have somebody.
Somebody's
ready to come. Yeah.
Hi. Okay, go on.
Surprise?
Yeah, a little.
Okay. Well, can we interrupt?
Yes, interrupt.
I interrupt this program to bring in somebody who's actually very special to me because he brought me into. What was that?
Sorry.
Bring him in. He helped me out. He helped me get like 120 subs, and it's pretty awesome in the drone community. Aldrin, how you doing this morning?
Aldrin!
Is my audio working?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Woo. What's going on, guys?
It is so cool of you to stop by. Happy International Drone Day, man.
Yeah, you too, guys. This is cool.
Wow, it's very nice to meet you, sir.
What's
Been
going
watching
on?
you for a very long time.
Thank you.
Been watching. You are single-handedly responsible for me finding the perfect camera bag.
Which one?
Yeah, I have it too.
I've got the Wonmo, and it's brilliant.
You know, I mean, besides the name when it first came out, I was like, "What is Wonmo?" Like, it just sounds so funny to say. But I mean, for the price when it came out, I mean, it's ridiculous for what you get. I think. Well, I don't know what it is now, but it was like $99 for like a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. You look at that. You look at the price of that compared to any other bag, and it's like, oh man, this is dirt cheap.
And
I
it
have
fits
sold.
my FPV and sorry.
Yeah.
I've sold all my other bags because I just went. Well, this just beats everything I've got. It's comfortable. It fits everything. It's multi-purpose. I love it.
Is that the one that
I've gone through numerous camera bags and
do you have a link for that one? I'm looking for a new camera bag.
This is amazing.
It's interesting. It's like it kind of reminds me of, in a way. What's funny is that how Peter McKinnon released his smaller bag. It feels like it's a good size. Like it is it holds. I mean, it holds everything, and it even comes with that extra. If for like $20 more, right, you get the extra pouch, that extra little bag.
Yeah, I have that too. The other bag. Yeah.
I mean, it was more bang for buck, and I beat that thing up, dude. It is all scratched up. So it was funny when PGI Tech asked me to hey, can you talk about it in another video? And I was like, can you guys possibly send me a new one because mine is just beat to crap because I drag it on my floor. I drag it when I'm outside putting my drone on it and launching off of it. So hey, it holds up though. So that's cool.
It's done really well. It's a shame I didn't have it because I when the FPV drone came out, I kind of went on a bit of an adventure all around this. I live in Thailand, and I went all around this island, and we were going off the beaten track and driving our truck where we really shouldn't have done. But it was a lot of fun. But I had my other bag, and that bag just would have been so much better. It's a brilliant bag. So thank you for those videos because they really put me onto I'm really, really pleased with the bag. It's a brilliant buy.
That's cool.
Brilliant buy.
Yeah, I still use mine also. I still use mine for a lot of things. I have I have the Peak one. I have the other ones, but then I kind of always resort back to that one just because I feel like I can beat it up a lot more than some of the other ones.
I had the Peaky, but I'm selling that as well because I just don't need it. This is just so much better.
Yeah, I like the back loading. I still like that. I still favor it more than side loading. So, and plus I've dropped stuff out of my Peak bag so many times now because I don't realize it's open. But I mean that's also probably just because I'm careless.
I get so excited when I'm out flying that I start losing my mind too. And my wife kind of laughs at me. She's like, slow down. Yeah. So this bag's awesome because you set it down on its backside, you open it up, then everything stays off the dirt, just the bag's in the dirt. Who cares? That's what the bag's for. And I can't believe I can fit my FPV in there, my Mavic 2 in there, the goggles, batteries, smart controller, FPV controller, filters.
Yeah. A little bit of everything. Then that front pouch is pretty key because it expands out. So then you toss everything else. You just
It's awesome.
Man, you guys are gonna make me buy a drone.
I know,
bag.
right?
Well, I needed something to take to Scotland in the fall, and Keith's like, Chuck, look at what Aldrin bought. Now you got to get one. He sends me pictures of it. He sent me like, prawn shots of it, like all opened up and everything, all this stuff. Like, oh my God, that is awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good to hear when you guys say that stuff in a way, because, like as YouTubers too, like people always think, oh, he's just freaking talking about it because they sent it to him, and yada yada. And I'm like, I even when people send me stuff, like one thing that's like in my writing a lot of times when I'm is like, if there's something that needs improvement, I'm gonna say it. Like I have to tell you that, guys. Like it doesn't make sense unless it's completely like, hey, this is completely sponsored by this product and I'm talking about it. Then of course, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, all right, it's a commercial, at that point.
Yeah, marketing, only the good. But yeah, most of your videos though are just from the heart, just straight up and always on a positive spin, but really just I love your out in the open just reviews, like turtle mode, like just put the thing down and like, okay, let's do it here. That's super cool.
I think, and that's, if you're talking about somehow how some of the bigger YouTubers, and I say that, like, to be honest, like, it's like, I don't look at numbers. You guys know that. I don't really care. But, there's just so much more attraction when you're doing it like that. And it's hard, but it's not easy. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy for me to be in the studio and be like, all right, let's just do 20 takes and then redo it. But then to be out there and to try to, make it work and try to get a camera angle. I mean, man, I my hat's off to some of these guys, like how they can be that on point. And I've worked with a couple of people, like for instance, like Justine when she's doing her stuff, and I'm just like, no way. She's like, and then I'm like shooting next to her on one of the sheets, and I'm like, on point, just like, damn, that's just years. You know what I mean? Like. So it's just time. Like, I'm not comfortable doing it. That's the reason why that video took off, I think, is because it was just so like, let's just try it. And I think a lot of people just, they appreciate that because it just feels more natural, more real compared to like
it
this.
Was.
Like,
it was.
Because it was. I mean,
it was. It was like you were just doing it. Yeah. Like when I did that video clip for you for the FPV, I think it was 40 takes. I did like 20 at this. I did 20 at that park bench, and then I was down by the playground set. And then I played those back. I was gonna send them to you, but like I noticed my jeans were all ripped up near the crotch. Like, oh, that's like X-rated. I can't use those. Like, But I mean, I kept doing it over and over and over and over and over and over.
No, that's why I like the spin. I like even like when 808 did it. Like, it was like and I told people, I said, go outside, just kind of shoot it with your phone, shoot it natural. Like, I think that's why I wanted everyone to kind of just be like, just shoot it, whatever you got, and we'll figure it out, right? Because I didn't want it to be so like structured, and I think that's what it came off. Because like 808 got some comedy in there, and it was like, I mean, that's the whole thing kind of works out. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, I almost lost my drone that day.
Oh, jeez. I took a break between the park bench where I shot, where I thought I was a little tighter, and then I flew the FPV through the playground and kind of loosened me up a little bit. And then I did the other one. Those were better, but like I said, the jeans are all ripped up. I'm like, I didn't know my jeans are all torn there. Oh man.
Yeah, I clipped a power wire that was going across the street, and my brother was sitting next to me, and he was like, "Did you just hit that?" And I was like, "Where did it go?" And he was like, "I don't know where it went because it literally just dropped like 20 feet afterwards." But I hit the pause button and it was like hovering above the ground like 4 feet, but it was behind everything else. So we had to walk down there because I lost my feet and all. And I was like, I don't know where it's at.
Dude, that is funny.
That thing was real. So
yeah, I appreciate that, guys. That was fun.
The only drone that I've come close to losing is that FPV drone, but it kind of eggs you on. It really does.
You said that before, Keith. It's like,
does.
Come on. You can do it. Manual. You can do manual mode. Yeah, first you're normal. It's like, come on, you want to do sport mode, don't you? Yeah, you do.
I know.
Come on.
Here's
what you do is you let a friend fly your drone, crash into a lake, and then you'll get a new drone.
So Lori wants to fly the FPV drone, so I should just let her fly it into a lake.
Well, no, just tell her, just tell her not to say, "Check me out, I'm Maverick." Don't
say that.
Don't say that.
Check me out, I'm Maverick. No, I sincerely believe my wife will fly the FPV drone better than me because she's not afraid. She'll just fly it. and that's so we have to let her. She has to prove me that she can prove to me that. Well, she already lands better than I do. I let her take the zoom out once, the 2 zoom. She freaking nailed the landing pad like dead center. Bam, first time. I'm like, what the hell was that?
It's annoying when they do that, isn't it? My wife, my wife was pretty similar.
Biscuit for the biscuit.
I'm not going to let my wife fly this. Nope.
I think
My
you
wife
should.
presses 20 million buttons on Mortal Kombat, so not going to happen.
Yeah, I think you should.
The thing is, every time I get a new drone, I end up having to get some expensive household thing. I've got the Air 2S here this week, so I ended up buying a brand new mattress today, which costs more than this.
We're all married to the same woman, kind of. So.
It's but I have to say, talking about this, have any of you guys flown? I know you have, Aldrin, but has anyone else flown this yet? Have you? No, you guys haven't got it. Aldrin, have you flown this with the smart controller? Have you flown it with the?
I mean, the day I synced it up and I flew it out there, and you could actually see in my video, it actually is choppy. So I probably will do a follow-up video on that because so many people have been talking about it, but I definitely want to test it out a little bit more. But to be honest, like every time I fly, I mean, yeah, the smart controller is definitely like a really good out-of-the-box thing, but I think it's just I don't know. I think it's just getting dated, right? I think the drone tech is starting to just really take a toll on the smart controller because that thing's 3 years old now, right? Yeah, probably 4 years old, considering more than likely you know when it was made versus when it was shipped.
Yeah, they hit it for a while.
But I mean, it's still. So I link it back up with my Mavic 2 Pro and keep it there for now, like because I think that's what it was made for, and I feel like it runs better on that. But then, so I'll still fly with my phone.
I noticed how hot it got today. The smart controller was red hot. I mean, I did test out master shots with it, and it did it. It did it. In fairness, it put together the video. But when I touched the sort of right hand corner of it, was hot is the understatement.
So it's using every bit of it's all the resources are being used. This thing is really getting pushed to the red line. Is what's going on.
But yeah, what's interesting about that too is like, but one of the bigger benefits of the smart controller, though, I'll tell you this much, is like when you're flying somewhere hot or cold, I trust that a little bit more than my phone. I've had my phone drop out on me so many times when I was flying either in cold weather or hot weather by overheating or just too cold. But the smart controller actually feels like it can handle a little bit better.
The one thing I will say that I've noticed today, again flying it, is that if you are not in the US, I don't think OcuSync 3 is all it's cracked up to be. In CE mode, it is not great. I would say actually that my Mavic 2 Zoom with that controller was more stable than this with its OcuSync 3 controller in the phone. I mean, I always know that the smart controller was a slightly more underpowered anyway, but both the FPV drone and this in its CE mode are not that good, as in just stability of the signal. You go behind a tree and it just drops out completely.
Well, you don't have FCC though. You are in Thailand. You have a dramatically lower signal level than we do here in the States.
I will say the difference when you switch, if you switch the drone to FCC mode, the difference is quite.
They say FAA mode instead of FCC. I probably did.
It is quite something. We've got a few people in the chat which we need to bring in.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some questions in there. Are we gonna play? Phoenix asks, does it fly like the Air 2? And he clarifies later. I mean, is it more smooth and precise, or?
I would say I don't know how Aldrin. In fact, I think it. I noticed that there's a slight. It's quieter. I think it's the easiest drone to fly out of any drone that I've flown. It certainly seems to fly. You can do manual movements with it. I mean, I've only flown 2 batteries on it. I got it yesterday. I got it out today, and then we had monsoon rain. So and my wife decided she wanted to go shopping, which meant I had to go shopping. Yeah. Yes, I know. I'm going to bring.
No, Aldrin, I think, had something to say.
No. I mean, it flies very similar to it. It's interesting too because it's always challenging because I'm always whenever I go out recently, I need to fly just more for flying sake. I've always been going out recently, like kind of comparing something, so my focus is a little bit different. So, but I need to get out there and fly just for the sake of flying. Just because like last time I flew, it was comparing one to the other, so or the tracking one or something like that. So, but no, I mean it flies. It flies very similar to the Air 2. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, Coast Drones also asks if anybody has had lazy gimbal issues with the Air 2S.
I haven't had that until my. I think it's only the Mini, right? The Mini is the one that has the issue as far as like when you punch it and the gimbal will.
I haven't had
that, right?
Unless you're talking about what you get on the Mavic 2 Pro, where the gimbal does that.
Yeah.
When you're going in sports mode, no, it doesn't do that.
Yeah, it doesn't do that.
It's and the FPV mode on it was interesting as well. It's much better than the original Mavics. We've got a few more people to just bring in and say hi. So I'm going to bring in my buddy from another podcast that I do, who has gracefully going to come and say hi to everyone. So this is Gareth from the Monkey Nut Punch podcast. Hi, mate. How you doing?
Hello.
What up?
And
Gareth, how you doing, brother?
I'm going to bring in one more person quickly, and then we will. I'm going to bring in the legend, the myth that is John Coopy. Hello, buddy.
Everybody know everybody here now? Everybody's good?
What's going on, guys? Happy International Drone Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. We were talking. I think I kind of lost track of where we were. So, Gareth, you said you've got a video you wanted to share.
Yeah, I got a video. I was I own a drone, and the drone lives in a tree in my local park. It was a cheap £50 jobby, but I was just flying around, got caught by a gust of wind, went dunk straight into a tree. I tried throwing stuff at it to get back the box, the controller, everything, trying to get out of the bloody tree. But I've got a drone, it lives in a tree.
That's awesome.
Well, do we get to see the video or not? Where is this drone in the tree video?
There is a video, but it's it facing down at the ground and me looking up going, oh, how?
I'm gonna get a lot of hits. Be a YouTube short.
Okay. I found a video earlier. There was a video I sent to Keith during the week about a guy flying a drone around a volcano. I was desperately trying to find that video, but I found a better one. I would like to share it with you guys.
Hey guys, what's up?
I'm going to kill the volume here, but
this video. I saw this video.
Look.
But yeah, this is.
It was a
if it plays. Oh, come on!
It's going to play.
Advertising something.
It
won't play. Damn, that's so annoying. And anyway, the long and the short of it is a guy flies it into a volcano. It looks spectacular, and I was hoping to share that with you, but unfortunately, the image is frozen at the beginning of that.
This is because we've seen a few of these. This is a guy's. It's in Iceland at the moment.
Bjorn, is that the guy?
It is
Bjorn.
Yeah. It was about 3 weeks ago he did it.
My God, he took the FPV drone and just like went through the lava rock coming out of the cone, and he somehow threaded the needle between all these rocks launching out. I don't know. And then he goes back and does it again. I'm like, holy! No wonder his bazillion hits was on the news. That was just amazingly epic.
That was me.
And you didn't care if you lost the drone. That's
There's
what
been
it
a bunch of like all the big name photographers are all headed over there now.
Jesus, he literally.
I bet.
Hang on a second, let's get it back.
Well, it's just.
There we go.
Oh, he flew right into it. It was a freaking kamikaze mission.
Sacrificed it to the mountain god.
Oh, he did. He sacrificed the volcano gods. Oh.
Gosh.
Oh, 808. What do you make of that? Is that like Pele? Sacrifice the Pele.
No, that's not a sacrifice. That's just a loss.
If you're gonna sacrifice it, I would have came down.
Yes. Yeah.
You should have could have hovered over with the camera
Like,
pointed down
like
until
go all
the
the
heat
way
took
up
it
and then
in.
just
Well,
dive bomb
there
right
is
into it.
one where he's hovered over it, and you can see the camera is melting.
Yeah.
Oh God!
The humanity.
Who was it? Somebody just played it. Yeah, I think it was on Ken Heron's show. They played it where you could see the lens melting and it's spreading and oh man, that was cool.
I just found that spectacular.
It's cool. They are some amazing videos that are coming out of Iceland at the moment. There's a couple of people that are doing it. I think you sent me another one where, because I saw the aftermath of that video you sent me the other day, where an errant sort of lava thing had got onto one of the arms and literally melted halfway through the arm of his FPV drone. Remarkably, for a DJI FPV drone, the arm stayed on, but it was like the
arm stayed on.
Remarkably,
they are the first thing to fall off. Typically,
the good thing is, I feel quite happy because one of our friends he has broken his FPV drone. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't flying at the time. Somebody ran an RC truck or something over the drone while it was on the floor.
Yeah, I think I know that guy.
Yeah, I think I know that guy too. And
unfortunate accident.
They quoted him July before they could get a part for it for him. And I remember seeing them because this is one of the joys of living so close to China is I can get stuff quite quickly, and I managed to get an arm for him. So I ordered a complete set for me as well. I thought, why I'm at it, I'm just going to get some just in case. Because I mean, I'm capable of doing basic soldering. So I think. And for what I can see, it is a basic solder. You just remove it off the
Did you say
flight
soldering?
control.
He said soldering.
How do you,
soldering.
I said it properly. How do you guys?
Let's not get into the British. We're not going there. We are not going there, people. This is International Drone Day. It's going to be like. Whilst Keith might say stuff different, whilst Keith says things differently, while I take the piss.
Yeah, we don't want to contravesty.
Hey, back to real quick.
Stop.
Actually, with 808 with the drones there, you were hardcore Evo, and now I see DJI in there. What's your thoughts between those two? And how you feeling on those?
I bought this one from Ken, Original Double. Because he bought himself the Air 2S. So I seen on his video that he's going to sell it. So I just texted him and I told him, bro, how much you selling it for? Yeah. So we got a good deal. He sent it to me. It got soaking wet. The box was ripped up. It was broken. I had it in the dehumidifier box for 3 days. And I started it up in his live stream and it worked. And I flew it out yesterday for the first sunrise. And I have to say, for a 3-year-old drone, soaking wet. It is actually very impressive. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay. So then I was like, okay. So I didn't look at the footage yet, and footage-wise, I still prefer the Evo 2 Pro. It's just the issues I have with the Evo 2 Pro apparently don't appear with this because I totally missed doing the compass calibration with this, and I just launched it. I mean, it just literally shipped from Florida to Hawaii. I never do a compass calibration with it. It got wet. I threw the battery in there and it works. And it's like I totally dig the ease of handling with it in comparison to the Autel Evo 2. The Explorer app from Autel sucks in comparison to the DJI Go. So it's quality wise on screen, both of them are pretty similar to each other, but I flew it both with the Triple Tech tablet just to check it out. I have to say though, for 3 years, Autel Evo 2 Pro did not really enhance anything except for that 6K stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
So now that I've seen sketches of that Mavic 3, it looks like a Micro Four Thirds camera inside there. So it's like, wow. So I might even get rid of that and something else and pick that up. You know what I mean? So,
I think the base controller, like the Air 2S, has room for a screen in it, kind of like what Autel does with the Evo. I wonder if the next base controller and the Pro 3 or whatever it's going to be called will have a screen.
I hope so.
Like an OLED screen.
I hope so too, because it's kind of like all this stuff seems to get redundant. Like you get this. Yep. I got this from Skyfire Aerial because I have it for my Autel controller already, and I totally dig it because I hate when I started flying the DJI Mavic. I mean DJI Mini, and I had the phone in the bottom, and I'm so used to having the phone above my controller that I was like, oh my god, I cannot handle this. Like it was, I don't know, it's an awkward place to have it in the bottom. Like if I probably would have started off with DJI, it would have been different. But paired enough, you put the phone on the top. Then I went to Autel Evo 2, the phone is on the top. And I'm like, as soon as I started with the Mini, I was like, what the hell is this crap? And plus the takeoff button is like in between there. I have huge hands, so I bury this controller, you know what I mean, like with my hands, and trying to get to the buttons on that phone while having these side panels. So Skyfire Aerial was so nice to hook me up with a personalized version of this. They send me the stock plates too, so to do the review on this thing, and I love it. I mean, yeah, it's taking up a little bit more space, but I totally dig it. It's to have the phone above and to have the mounting options and switching my triple tech over to this. I totally dig it. You know what I mean? And for me, for just starting YouTube, being at the state that I am right now, I have literally pumped everything I had into this whole thing, and I totally dig it. So now my wife is like, so when are you going to sell one of these?
When health freezes.
I'm just taken to buying expensive pieces of furniture every time I want a new drone. I'm just taken.
You need a bigger house. I'm just taken
to the fact.
Wait till it gets to the house, bro.
Every time a new DJI drone comes out, right, it's going to cost me twice as much as whatever they are.
Yeah, so my wife was looking for a long time for one of those professional massage chairs. So we got the hookups, and as soon as I heard it, and it was like that thing is usually like $12,000, and I was like, oh my god. And I looked at her, and she's like, I really want this chair. I was like, oh, how much is it gonna be though? So
she's like, how much is that drone? Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
I know my budget.
How much were those drones? You know, and I was like, okay, so this was 25, this was 16. You know what I mean? And so I was like, my goodness. And then she's like, yeah, it's only going to be for a quarter of the price. And it's like, all right, honey, we'll just do it. So I never like give her no hassle, because anytime I came up with this stuff, and I'm like a salesman to my wife, and I'm like, babe, if I'm gonna pick this up, I can do reviews on it for YouTube. And then she's like, so how much is it gonna be? That's her first thing already right there. International Drone Day. If you want a drone, please your wife. You know what I mean? Happy wife, happy life.
Wives love vacuums and dish towels.
Good luck with that.
I know my wife loved the Roomba, but everybody at work said I was crazy buying her a robotic vacuum cleaner like 10 years ago.
I have that thing too, and it annoys the hell out of me because it keeps banging me. Like,
yeah, it chases you down. It's like
and I'm like, I told my wife, it's like, why is my area more dirty? It keeps coming here. It's like,
yeah, it does. It seems to know where we are. It's kind of creepy, but everybody at work's like, you're crazy. She's gonna hate you if you get that for her for Christmas. I was like, no, I think she'll like it.
I know. But the thing was too that many people identified me as the Autel guy, and I didn't want that no more. So I was like, I'm gonna pick out DJI.
Chuck, I like how you say you buy a robotic vacuum for your wife, but you guys literally don't have to do anything with it. Both of you guys don't have to do anything with it.
I gotta clean it.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
I gotta clean it.
Why I don't want it? I
blew up in my face. It's backfired.
So how often do you need to clean it? Honestly, because that's
after every use, pretty much.
Yeah, you should see it. Like, if you have somebody around the house who has pretty long hair, like maybe blonde hair in my case, it gets all wrapped around the auger.
Or cats too, I imagine.
Oh man, around the bearings and the shafts and everything. So yeah, it's a process.
That's exactly why I don't own one. I just figured it would be a maintenance nightmare. The time that you save,
the only ones that are worth getting are the ones that I would have experience are the ones that cost mega bucks, and then you clean them every other cycle. But like the cheaper ones, they're. I mean, even on tiled floors, they're not great. My next door neighbor's got one, and I went because he comes out and sort of looks at me playing with the drones, and he gets jealous because every other week I'm out there with a new drone.
It's really best. The robots are best for going under furniture and stuff. So you let it loose. Like before you have guests over, it'll go under the dining room table and get all the stuff that's just tougher to get to, and it's still helpful.
He came out and showed me his one, and his one is
wait for DJI's vacuum.
Yeah, well, they're getting into everything else at the moment.
Cars.
Well, they're getting into cars too now. So
yes, they are. Yeah, they are. Automotive industry and everything else. I was just going to say, John, you're mainly an FPV guy. Now, my buddy here, Gareth, because I have this theory that I think the reason I was more confident with the DJI FPV drone
like this
to start with was that I played video games, and the only video games that I'm any good at are the sim games. He's better than me. I think he should try FPV drone. Yeah, this guy here, sorry.
Landing aircraft or something. Bring them in.
Were you a gamer? Are you a gamer? Because I know you're into.
I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore gamer, but I did play a lot of video games growing up and computer games, and I still do play games. So yeah, if you are a console gamer and you do that kind of thing, what is FPV? It's like playing a real life video game. Honestly, it really is.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought, because I started with this whole. I never did FPV at all, and I picked this one up. And then as soon as I tried the simulator and I ended up with Steam and Liftoff, because I play a lot of video games on PlayStation. As soon as I ended up on that Liftoff Steam thing, it took me, I think, 3 hours, 4 hours around there to just get used to everything. On the 5th hour, I was confident, and I went out and I took some killer footage that I totally loved. And ever since then, I haven't touched the simulator at all. I just keep doing this.
I'm addicted to it. As soon as we're allowed to travel, because I haven't been home in over 2 years now because of this wonderful beer bug that is going around. But it's I'm going to hook him up. I'm going to hook him up with it. I'm going to go through the whole rigmarole of having to get it registered in the UK. Because it's just I'm having so much fun with it. I was saying to Chuck the other day, it is if I'm not trying to capture something, or I'm not taking photos or anything like that, and I love these for that kind of thing. If I'm just flying for the fun of it, I'm out there with the FPV drone every time now. It's just.
I have a question for John.
You know what's under
John? I'm trying to
50 grams. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Art. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm trying to get back into Velocidrone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I'm having an issue hooking up my controller to the PC. And remember that thing about the Windows 10 update that screwed that up? Well, I don't have the libUSB in my computer.
Huh, that's kind of weird. You know what? If you message me, we could go back and forth on that. But offhand, I'm not really sure what to do when you don't see that on there. Usually, every time it does it to me, I see that libUSB thing, and I just undo it, or whatever the heck the process is. Usually, I have to look it up to do it every time I have to. And I feel like I have to do it every so many Windows updates, too. It seems like after you do a Windows update, it screws it all up all over again. So it kind of sucks.
All right, thank you.
I'll try to help you. Just I think you have me on Facebook, right, Art?
Yeah.
Yeah, just message me, and when I get a moment, we'll try to go over that.
The interesting thing is Liftoff. You mentioned Liftoff. That's available on the PlayStation. I've got it. Now, it's slightly more interesting using a PlayStation controller with a manual drone, but actually you do kind of get the hang of it. You've just got to remember that your left stick, you have to keep your fingers on it, but and don't let it recenter.
So I played the DJI simulator with the PlayStation controller. That was my first, because I wanted to be able to just try that thing to see what it was like. Man, that simulator is wacky. I got to tell you, out of all the simulators I've flown, even with the PlayStation controller, that simulator is still pretty wacky.
It's yeah. I mean, they've recently updated it, and I tried it again, but it gives me motion sickness still. I've gotten over the motion sickness with flying the drone, but for some reason, the refresh rate through the goggles or whatever. I mean, I tried it with the iPad Pro because they launched it, and the iPad Pro is meant to be this all powerful machine, and it's still the refresh rate was around about 60 to 63, and the minute it jumped to 63, it was just getting a bit weird. And I've been trying to use the motion controller because where I was flying, the owner got a bit funny about it, and now I won't go back there. But I've been trying the motion controller, and this is the interesting thing because again, Gareth and I used to do a lot of sort of Microsoft Flight Sim, and I've started getting used to the way this motion controller works, and it does kind of work like the Flight Sims do. That I suddenly, because when I was playing it on the sim and I was using it, I suddenly realized I'm flying like I used to fly like the Cessna and landing at Mix Field in San Francisco, and the way you control it actually now makes a lot more sense. Has anybody else used the motion controller? I know you have, Aldrin, but are you still using it, by the way?
No, I mean, I want to be able to use it eventually once it jumps back over to the Air 2S, just to see how that flight experience will be. But if I'm just going out there, I'll normally have some sort of agenda to do, and a lot of times at the moment it's not really focused around a motion controller. It's in the bag, but like if I it's hard enough to get out there to do stuff, so I need to.
Never used it.
Just get out there and try to fly with the regular controller first, just to get some airtime. But it's there. It's fun. When I used it for all the stuff I did from before, I mean, it's super. I mean, that was another one of the videos where it's like, let's do it for the first time and see how it works. And then next thing you know, it's like, whoa, this is actually kind of cool. I think there's a thing with my channel. I think I just have to go out there for the first time every single time because those videos just seem to pop off.
Well, they're great.
No more of the scripting
First
stuff.
experience. You can never recapture that.
Yeah. So those are fun to do.
You can't act that really.
People we're all voyeurs kind of, so it's kind of fun to see like, wow, Aldrin's gonna go fly this for the first time. Maybe he's gonna crash.
Yeah. You see how conservative I am.
Maybe he's gonna end up in a tree. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
I want to get somebody who's not really used to flying drones.
Yeah, exactly.
I want them to try the motion controller because I think they're onto something.
Maybe
I know just the person.
I think that thing's a trap.
Maybe if I clean the Roomba, she'll fly it.
Isn't it a good
video? It'd be a good video.
It would be.
You can have more precise control over it than I thought if you handle it like a joystick. Yeah. If you imagine it's a joystick on the desk, and when you're turning an aircraft, because if you do what a lot of people got confused with, I think I noticed in early YouTube videos was if you turn it that way, it's the same as turning it that way, which it's not.
Right.
And if you know anything about flying sort of aircraft, again, once you actually make that connection and start flying it and twisting it as well as turning it that way, and
what do you mean, like you mean like this?
Yeah, it makes it turn tighter, and then it's I suddenly sort of it's like, oh, this is Flight Sim. And then I started sort of just doing stuff with it. And I was like, I used to fly under bridges and stuff with that all the time with it. And it's just like, this is Flight Sim. And as soon as I kind of made that connection, bump, I found that I could use it a lot better. And I went, now I get it. Now I get it.
So the one thing that I was thinking about the motion controller was, as soon as I seen the thing on Aldrin's channel, I was like, what if you put a broomstick in the bottom, step in the bottom, and so you get like on this hole, so you stay there.
Get a plunger and stick it down there.
Yeah, stick it down there and then just keep going like this, like a handle. That's what it reminded me of, like a helicopter.
Self-centering
stick, whatever.
Yeah. It does. It is. Because I mean, Garrett, we both had those like fancy joysticks, didn't we? Back in this is going 20 years.
Got a new fancy joystick. Yeah, we had fancy joystick. You're talking about the ones where you have the hat and the
Yes.
hat, or whatever it's called. I can't remember.
Yeah, but it was like you twist it that way and that way, and it would control your.
Bear with me a second. I'll get my current joystick and I'll show you what we got.
I used to break those joysticks playing like summer games and stuff on like 40.
What do you mean, this one?
Going left and
You can
right,
actually
trying to run.
you can pivot it like this.
Oh yeah, you've both got the same one. You've both got similar ones. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just like you can
This
turn
comes
it.
in two. This comes in two
see, like
parts.
that.
So it's like got a thing so you can like twist it.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
courtesy of a friend. This one.
I
I'm very
thought they
grateful.
all had that. No. Well, Ash recommended this one. It was a good call because it works great with Flight Sim.
It's he's into flight sim as well now.
Heavily. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. I'm lightly into it, but getting drawn in. Since
So
the
what is the
38
bottom of
tears
the
up.
controller of that motion controller? What is the bottom? Is it just plastic? Maybe you can
It's
drill a hole and put a quarter-inch in there.
Is there a quarter
just,
20 on there?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
No, there's no.
No?
No,
No,
it's
it's
actually
just
there's a
a
USB-C
USB-C
port in the bottom.
That's right.
Although I don't know if the USB-C port could handle the stress, but you get something to go in the USB-C and support it.
Oh yeah.
Or unless you
Maybe.
put something in the bottom to wrap it around, whatever.
Because it's not, you're not put a lot of
I think
pressure on
you
it.
just
Hopefully,
tape a freaking,
Yeah.
stick or something to it.
As soon as, because I mean,
make
Henry,
a boot
you
for it,
mailed-
like Dobo came up, or Ken Dono came up with that boot for like the back of the FPV drone to protect the batteries. Get something like put a boot into it so you can.
Yeah.
You can 3D print
Support it.
something.
But
Just
you
to make
need
it
to, you
stationary
need
on
to,
the table, whatever.
you need to twist it as well. It needs to have that.
Oh,
like the
yeah, you're
joystick
right.
after, so it needs to have
Yeah.
that movement. But the problem is, especially for sort of us of the slightly older generation, you've got to get over the fact that it's not a Scale Electrics controller. Because the minute I picked, this is a Scale Electrics controller, and that's what you hold it like, because it looks like a Scale Electrics controller.
Are you
But
talking?
as soon as
Are you talking little race cars, Keith? Electric race
Yes.
cars?
Slot
You said that.
cars, Scale Electrics.
Yeah, we had this discussion before, and I had to translate before because it's like Tyco and AFX, Aurora AFX.
Yeah, there you go. I can't remember what they were called in the US because in the UK it was Scale Electrics and it was the slot car tracks, and you got a yellow one and a red one, and it looks like that kind of controller.
Yeah.
So when I first started out, that's how I was holding it, and then as soon as I realized, no, this is like a joystick. As I said, it became more natural. But
John vaporized.
it's John. He's got the same chair as me.
Does he have the backrest thing?
No.
Cool.
Oh, I'm still going on a mission with that. This is my third one.
Hey, real quick,
and
kind of curious. I jumped on when you guys were showing the Mavic those sketches. What would you guys say is let's go round table real quick. Mavic 3 top 2 features it has to have for it to be sold on it. What do you think?
4K 120.
4K 120. Okay, what else you guys got? Let's go two each. Let's go two.
I would say that the only way you can go is full frame.
Full frame. Ooh, okay.
Variable aperture.
Okay.
It's gonna be. Yeah, I think, or interchangeable lenses. The one that would sell me is if it was a 1-inch sensor with a
Interchangeable.
continuous f-stop and it had zoom. If it had optical zoom with
Okay.
a continuous aperture, I would be f.2.8 throughout the whole thing. Yeah, okay, you would probably get me on that.
So you guys aren't do you guys care much if there's interchangeable lenses?
I would like interchangeable
I would like
lenses,
that.
but they'll take my money if they keep it
Yeah.
the same physical size as the 2 series and not get bigger. Somehow
Yeah.
keep the variable aperture. The 1-inch sensor is fine as is, just with better hardware behind it, like the Air 2S. I mean, just
my frame rate.
I don't want to give up anything that this has. Like Air 2S gives up stuff. They keep all this, and if they had a 1-inch zoom lens with a variable aperture, maybe.
Yeah, optical zoom with variable aperture and 4K 120.
4K is 60 minimal for me anyway. But
There's no way they can do anything below 4K 60 or
Yeah, you have
yeah.
to.
And if
I
it was
don't think you
5.5K 60 like the Air 2S,
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect any of the specs to be below the Air 2S for this thing.
No.
Do
Yeah,
you
for
guys
sure.
all prefer to shoot in 4K 60? Or
For B-roll, yeah, I'd like to be able to
Yeah,
slow
for
stuff
B-roll.
down.
Yeah, for sure.
I recently just made the switch to 4K on my YouTube, and my laptop's moaning about it left, right, and center.
I hear that.
Oh, and my file storage. Whereas I used to get 1 or 2 projects on my SSD, I'm lucky if I get 1 now.
No, if you have good lighting, the thing is you don't have to record in 4K. As long as you have good lighting and sufficient lighting, you can film in 1080 and just upscale it to 4K. It actually, in my eyes, it looks softer and it looks nicer than the sharpness of the 4K itself. So
that's what I like about the 2 Pros 1-inch camera. It's a little softer. I like
that. Here's the thing. This is why I think
compared to the Evo 6K is really sharp.
Yeah. And you can push in too if you want. Like if you have those extra pixels, you can crop in and push in, which is
later without after the fact.
Yeah, if you have, you can't use them if you don't have them. It's like the old in Universal Studios on the tour in Hollywood. They used to say, "Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it," and that's exactly true.
Art, what do you think? Give me a selling point. What would sell you? What would take your money?
It would be price because I'm a blue collar worker and I'm just plenty happy with the Air 2 that I have.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm pretty happy with my Air 2 as well, man.
Me? You made a mistake asking me.
No.
I'll be honest with you, between cup holders and a 15-kilo carry capacity.
Oh, we talking about if we can carry 1 or 2 small toddlers? Is that what we're talking about?
There you go.
I'll test that out with my Evo lift. The lift thing I just got. I'll try that. We'll see.
Careful.
So, Aldrin, what's it really got?
I do the same thing. I'm just like, I'm on the same boat. Just so everything has to be bumped up, and I'm super curious on how they're going to deal with obstacle avoidance. I'll be honest with you, because everyone knows it's like Skydio's got it as far as like true obstacle avoidance. I mean, it's with the camera system. So that's what I'm curious about. But at the same time, that's not their focus, right? They know that that's just such a much smaller market that that what the sensors that they currently have seem like they work for 95% of the people that fly it. So I don't expect it to be like I have zero idea what's going to happen with it, but I don't expect it to be like, I think they're going to keep the same sensor system, maybe 360, same way the Mavic does it. But yeah, I think everything will just have to be bumped up. Camera, maybe just a Micro Four Thirds or something. I have a weird feeling that there's going to be something like in between a 1-inch and a mic, like Sony, they're like they always have their own custom. DJ has their own custom stuff, everything. I just have a feeling that there's going to be something custom, the same way that they came out with the Air 1/2-inch, right? Like it's just something different, something like an in between type of camera. That's what I feel like.
Another Hasselblad.
Yeah, just something like that. It'll be like a slightly bigger than a 1-inch Hasselblad. And then you're just like, oh my god, I want that
1.2.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck, Keith, I gotta take off here. I gotta go replace a motor on my power windows on my car. So, thanks for having me, and hope to see you guys on my show later today at 7 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Mountain and 4 p.m. Pacific.
What about
and
Filipino
7 a.m. Sunday in the Philippines.
There we go.
Cool. Future.
All right, take care, everybody.
Up, just a quick one.
Have a great day.
Methane.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Art.
Bye, Art. Thanks for stopping by, man. Methane.
But where were we? The Mavic 3. I don't know. I'm quite happy with this Air 2S. I finally got the 1-inch sensor that I wanted because I when I bought the Zoom, I wasn't really into photography, and then again a video that you made where you did one where you did that sort of long exposure stuff with the Mavic 2 Pro got me sort of slightly interested. You did a shot of the beach, and then you got it printed up on what was the print mode? You favor like a perspex printing. What do they call it you print onto
acrylics or
acrylic printing. Yeah. And that got me interested, and I got back into photography again and realized that really the Mavic 2 Pro was the better camera. And I've never really got around to getting it, so I finally got a 1-inch sensor, and this does take really good pictures.
Yeah, I'm like banging on Freewell's DMs. I'm like, yo, you guys are behind, dude, because I'm like dying to do some long exposure with the Air 2S, but you know, an ND32 is cool, but I mean, I'd probably have to get out there at like 4 a.m. to actually be able to do that. Like just a little bit of light out there, then I'll be able to pull like a 1.5 second exposure or something. But yeah, I've been like, I'm surprised. I was surprised that they didn't roll out at the same time. They normally are on point. So
yeah, there's no Freewell sensors. There's no Polar Pro are bringing out some VNDs, so you should be able to get like up to
maybe a 64. I don't know. We'll see. You know, the 1000s and 2000s are awesome to have. That's what I'm waiting for.
You did one other thing that got me, and I've got an amazing picture printed of my wife. You did a shot when the Mavic 2 first came out. You did a picture somewhere where you used it as a photography light. And you posted it, I think, on Instagram, and I copied your idea, made a video about it as well. But I did shout you out in the video.
Oh man!
But I've got a picture of my wife down by the coast doing that same method. It's quite a cool idea that was.
Yeah, there's a couple of cool things. But once they hooked up that auxiliary light in the bottom, I was like, okay, there's some other creative ways to use it. The Lume Cube came out with their brackets, and then they put those things on there, and yeah, definitely fun if you have that patience and time to dial that in, because it's definitely a lot of work to not just do the drone, then you're lighting it, then you're doing a long exposure on your still camera, and you know, so a lot of things going on. You definitely have to have that mindset of like, all right, we're getting this one shot, you know. So but super fun to be creative with that stuff.
It is, yes, it is. Who was it? Was it Mike O'Connell? May the 1st International Drone Day, but he's also May Day.
Mayday. I hope there's no Mayday calls today. Like Geeks Fana's taking his exam, isn't he?
Oh yeah. He was. I think it was delayed.
Yeah, rain delayed.
Rain delayed. I was watching earlier.
Hopefully, no Maydays out of him today. Hopefully, he just passes the exam and gets it all done.
John, you should be on that stream, winding him up, mate. This is the perfect opportunity to get your own.
Yes. Yeah. Johnson, it's an opportunity to fluster him.
Oh yeah, get him all flustered.
You guys are the weirdest romance ever.
Oh my god.
Henry, you've kept us alive with one story for about an hour. Have you got anything more on your list?
It was a really slow week in drone news.
It's the calm before the storm, Henry.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's little whispers of like an Osmo action too, but like,
oh, I can't wait. I am hoping for that.
Yeah, I like the first Osmo action, and I told my wife that if the second one come out, I like pick it up. So
yeah, that's the thing. I when I talked to DJ a while back too, and I'm like asking about the Osmo action, I was like, you know, it has to be you, because I use my Insta360 Go 2 now, like all the time. You put that thing in pro mode, and you have the ability to, you know, be doing whatever, and it'll stay horizon. You get the horizon leveling, right? With the GoPro, you have to have that big lens on there for that to work, or you have to have a 360 camera. But the Insta360 Go 2, my gosh, that thing is awesome. And I was like telling DJI before, I was like, you have to have horizon leveling. There's no way around it now. If it does not have horizon leveling, I mean, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna, that's gonna hurt big time.
Well, that's the thing that's going to get me. That with a 1-inch sensor will bring me over to an Action 2 easily, for sure.
Oh yeah, it has to have stabilization, has to have the resolution and frame rate.
See, that's the thing with the 1-inch though. It's not gonna. I don't think that 1-inch is going to come around, because that's the trade-off, right? You have to have the trade-off of that stabilization, both digitally and then through the software, and a 1-inch. Then you're going to have. I mean, it could be like a 1-inch, but like your resolution is only going to be it'd be super cropped. You know what I mean? In order for that to work, so.
We'll see. Yeah. Well,
I mean, you look at GoPro; they would have done it if they could have.
You see, the GoPro 9, apart from the fact that you have all the GoPro issues, is impressive. It is.
I have it. I love it. Yeah, I use it all the time. Stabilization's good. Frame rate's good.
It kills me. GoPro kills me though when it freezes. Up to now,
yes, no, that's
freezes. I cannot. Insta360 1R freezes. I'm just I get so frustrated with it.
It's been a thing of GoPros since
forever.
I think forever. Yeah, you're right, and they never seem to improve it.
I mean, as well, and it's been a
Hero 7, Hero 8, Hero 9. I mean, it's impressive.
The 9 and both of them had that issue. It's always been a problem, and you always have to work around it. It's just that's a GoPro thing that always happens. If you're buying a GoPro, you're gonna get that.
Yeah,
I know, but that's super fun. I mean, I don't have that issue with Osmo, the action though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I do have it with the Insta360, the 1R, the X2. That thing freezes up all the time too, and that's super frustrating because, especially with 360 shots, you're like, you got one chance, you know, like. You're not climbing up that hill again, or I'm not running again. Like I'm already out of breath doing one sprint. You know, like I'm not. You know, so that like the X2 for some reason I don't know what it is. I have the fastest cards on there. There's just so many things that frustrate me about some of these action cameras. It's just
that's pretty much what Lon just said. They're trying to do too much with that little processor inside there.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. But it is pretty incredible when it works. Watching it works, stabilization when they're turning it around like that, and it just. It's impressive, but I've heard that the Osmo Action 2 is coming, and that it's kind of been seen in the wild. I've heard that it is coming, so I hope it is because
I hope it is too. It's still my favorite camera. Two things. I hope it has horizon leveling, and I just hope it's super wide. That's only two things I care about.
Yeah, the last time they didn't go as wide, and I think it hurt them a little bit. A lot of people talk about that.
Hey dudes, I gotta take off. It was good to talk. It was good to see you guys, and hope you have a happy International Drone Day. For those of you who get flights in, go do it.
Yeah. Sure.
See you, John.
All right, you guys take care.
John.
Take it easy, mate. Probably bump into you on Coast to Coast at some point.
I have a feeling or drone therapy maybe on Wednesday nights. Or...
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys take care.
You too.
Take it easy, John. Take it easy, mate. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, when it comes to action, I think those are the two things for me. Horizon leveling so that you can be just running with it. Same thing, move it around. If the sensor was bigger, but that doesn't compensate like the stability because just for low light and then super wide. I think the Insta360 Go 2, the reason why I use it so much is because it's super wide. I'm just just barely even holding it up, and it's like, and I'm like, that's what you kind of want.
Yeah,
without the barrel distortion.
Yeah, because you can switch it to linear in the app. You can keep it wide, but it's weird because linear. Normally, you would think it punches in more. For some reason, it straightens it out and it gets it super wide. I don't know.
Awesome.
Insta360 does some weird stuff, man. But they're, but with kids running around with them, I mean, it's. I'm super impressed with it. So I hope it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think that would sell it for sure.
Yeah, I would put the Insta360 1R. I tried the 360 on top of this FPV, and I tried the 1-inch module on top because I got the twin edition.
Mm-hmm.
And the 1-inch module, you gotta go into manual and you gotta switch. I forget what you have to switch, but you have to switch something in there so that stabilization thing comes on.
In the app, there's the aerial. There's the aerial thing.
So because other than that, if you just film with the 1-inch and you go onto the standard mode, you gotta film in, not the HDR. Because if you film in HDR, it's horrible. You can everything is shaking. And then once you take it into standard mode, it's perfect. It crops in a little bit, but it looks awesome. Like to have it on top. But that thing is so heavy. This drone does not like that at all. Yeah. You could tell.
Oh, the 1R, that thing, that the modular camera, that's heavy.
Yeah, that thing is heavy. Too heavy for this FPV.
Is that a mini on the end there, Ater? Is that a mini you've got there?
This one.
Looks like
yeah. Is that
the first mini?
No,
it's the one. It's the one. Yeah. I didn't see the need for pick up the Mini 2 because you have 2.7K on this already, and just for $500 to upgrade to a 4K, I just didn't see the sense in it.
It's the OcuSync. Yeah, that was what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It's the OcuSync. It
I fly
depends.
visual line of sight, so I don't really.
Yeah,
You know.
again, it depends where you fly your drones. I mean, the Spark was a good little drone, and that had the Wi-Fi on it.
It's not great.
It was say that again, Henry.
What, Henry?
I still have the Spark, and the
I love it.
connection is just terrible on it.
It depends where you fly it. And again, it's the old FCC versus the CE.
I live in the West,
thing.
I've flown in the middle of like fields, and it still sucks.
Yeah, I had issues.
Think...
Mine broke signal a couple of times. The one time was when I first took it out by a schoolyard with a church next door, and it went backwards into the damn church. It did bounce off, though. I'll give it credit. It bounced and lived, but it broke signal and just went backwards.
I think Lon, do you want to respond to that comment there? So I've got
Napoleon Dynamite. That's funny.
But I think the mini one is a good starter drone. I mean, if Gareth, if you want to fly another drone, you could go a lot worse than the mini. You can fly that in the UK, no regulations. It's the drone that's selling like hotcakes in the UK at the moment because it gets around all of the labeling systems and everything else that the UK is bringing in. And yeah, I mean that's the drone that you're tempted by, aren't you, Chuck? Just in case that you can't fly
in Scotland. Yeah, I'm a little worried about. I'm worried about flying the Mavic 2s in Scotland and be able to get close to anything, close enough to get good stuff. But maybe back in the Highlands and stuff, it won't matter much. But I'd like to follow the rules and make it nicer. But I want to fly a good drone too. So the Mini 2 might do that for me. Get me
Mini 2 for sure.
Shots.
I mean, just flying a Mini 2, how quiet that thing is, it's ridiculous.
It's the winds I'm worried about, though, Aldrin. It's like it's pretty windy on the coastline. And
yeah, that's what I was talking when I was talking to 808 about that before, too. I was like, man, you're in Hawaii. Even though the Mini is really good, man, those gusts scare me.
I was afraid to take my Mavic 2 up on. I was in Kihei on Maui, and I was like, sand's blowing in my face and everything. And I was like, yeah, no. We walked out to the beach, me and my wife. I'm like, I'm not doing it. No, I can't do it. I didn't even take the anemometer. I just knew if I held up, I knew it'd be like 30 miles an hour.
What's funny is that a lot of people
forget the Mini out on the cliff down there, and I flew the drone, the Evo 2 right before. So the Evo 2 is like a bus in the air.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's a little bit windy.
A bus.
I put up my Mini, and as soon as I put them up, and I look at my wife, and the thing starts coming this way, and my wife was like, babe! And it's like, oh! I was like, okay, never mind. We're not going to fly this one today.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem with it. I mean, it's like,
that is,
and then you get altitude. It's even windier when you get right at like 6 feet. It's one thing, and you get up 100 feet, and it's way worse.
Totally. Yeah, I gotta give my hats off to Sean Oz. He's flying over in Denver at like 13,000 feet on top of these like snowy, windy things on the Mini 2, and I'm just like, dude, man, hats off to you because man, you're gonna be hiking if that's like goes down. And he has. Yeah. But I mean,
when he crashed the FPV drone, he had to run.
I know.
I was like, oh man,
it was funny when he did that. When he did that too, and then then the next day I released a turtle video, and I'm like, you really could have used that one. I was like, that's a perfect example of using turtle mode right there. It was exactly upside down. And I'm like, that would have been perfect,
That turtle mode is super cool. It almost looks like it uses the IMU to know what position the drone's in, know which props to spin. It intelligently spins the props. It doesn't just, it knows how to flip it over the right way. It's cool.
No, that's why I said like this DJI FPV, the IMU on this is insane because for a drone that does like flips and turns and stuff, it knows when to turn off stuff. It knows when to do certain things. I mean, the technology that is in here. A lot of drone manufacturers can take an example out of that one.
Yeah, when the emergency brake is it's kind of funny when I was doing the testing on the Evo, right? If you haven't flown the Evo, and you try to stop real fast. It's like you can't. It's like stopping a freight truck. Yeah, like it's like the freeway. You know, the freeway, the runaway buses that has the gravel on the right hand side. It's kind of like that. You know?
You gotta go into the barrel.
But it was funny because if you watch the tracking video that I just posted, right when I hit like track me or dynamic track, I flew it up far, and then once I hit like record, it came like right next to me,
super close to you,
and I was like, "What the hell, dude?" Like you can see me in the video, I'm just like staring at it, like it's about to hit me, dude. Like, why have you watched that part? I was like, "All right, let's try the Evo," and then I hit record, and it's like boom, and I'm just like frozen, and then I'm like, "Okay, let's try pushing this thing back," you know, and I'm like, "What is happening?" It's just so it's like.
The tracking on this, like even when you go into smart orbit and stuff, so you gotta have direct contrast. But then I flew these two next to each other, the Mavic 2 and the Evo 2, and then I flew the Evo 2 a little bit lower to mark the smart orbit around the Mavic.
Yeah,
she wouldn't do it. Like you press the start button, and she just backs off and she wants to track the clouds, and I'm like, there's so much contrast. You know, I don't get it. The tracking on this is total whack. And then when I did the tracking for myself to walk through the yard, that thing almost would chop my head off. Like it's so fast, so close to me. And I was like looking at it, and I was like, I'm gonna grab you out of the air and flip you upside down. You know what I mean? You do that again.
Dude, it's scary. That's the thing, you know. I mean, it's definitely good that they're marketing and they have a lot of the sensors inside. I mean, people always try to bash like some of the DJI, just add a side sensor. I mean, yes and no. Like you have it, but I mean, if this is not accurately and you know giving you usable footage, then you know, so you can put all this, you can put all the sensors you want on there. But if it's you know the footage out of it is like, I was like, all right, dude, I'm drunk drone. You know, that's what everyone calls it.
Yeah. So this one, even with the sensors, like I was like, I never realized how much effect these sensors can have until I started flying with this. And even if you turn them off, obstacle avoidance, the sensors are still sort of active. She slows down and she doesn't want to really go through certain things. If like go underneath bridges and get pillars left and right, she slows down dramatically, and then once she passes, she goes. You know, so it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to the Evo. It's gone off course, but it's still lived. So for that, I mean, you know, awesome. Like it's gone pretty haywire on me. But it never like went down. So and considering how big of a platform it is, I'm pretty surprised because this thing it's massive, right? People don't realize it's massive.
And she's pretty agile for that what she does with the tracking part. She's agile to do what she does. That's the weird part. I never can fly it that way. You know, it's just when it does the tracking part. But if you're looking for a drone for tracking, I would always suggest pick up the Skydio 2.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the Skydio.
Blowing them out of the. Oh yeah.
What's it like in the wind, the Evo?
The Evo 2, I had it up to like 60 miles an hour gusts, and
it's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy as hell. Like
so, I mean, it sits there. It takes the wind.
That's my one worry about the Air 2S. I've noticed.
It's only a pound in an ounce or something. So it's about half the weight of the Mavic 2 platform.
Yeah, it's so weird. The Air 2, yes, you're right. Even though when I first flew it, it seems like it's struggling, but I mean, the footage looks fine, right? So it's weird because you're like, oh my gosh, I don't think I should fly.
Is it really going like this?
Yeah, it's like, like when I flew in Tahoe, and it wasn't even that. I mean, it was windy, but I mean, it was like, whoa. And then, but I'm like, okay, then, you know, so like personally, you're looking at it, you're like, oh, this isn't safe. But then you look at your screen, you're like, oh, it looks all right. So it's weird.
The gimbal's very capable then.
Yeah,
it's a very, very capable gimbal. But even today, when I was flying it just outside my house and it was coming down, there wasn't that much wind. And okay, we've got a walled road on either side, so the wind does sort of flows through it, but there wasn't that much wind, and it was still flopping as it was coming in because the updraft, its own updraft, was making it unstable as it's coming down. And that's the only thing that concerns me about it. But it is the best consumer drone that DJI currently makes.
Yeah, you know what you have to do is you have to fly it and then just fly it away, so you don't see it.
So you can't. So it's just a dot.
I can't see how much it's moving. I think it's fine.
Well, your visual line of sight will be a dot. visual line of sight dot. I can see it. You can't see it going like this.
I know. That's what
that is unsettling when you can see your drone wobbling around like that.
Yeah.
The gimbal is very capable on it, though. I will give it that. I mean, I've got the Air 2 as well, and that's my redundancy, Chuck.
Redundancy, man. That's what you gotta have it.
All right, guys, I gotta sign off. I gotta go. I gotta meet somebody to fly drones today.
That's more important.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
Yeah,
and I hope you. Mate, no, we appreciate it. And I hope you get those batteries sorted out. I'll sort of.
So we'll just read what USPS says, but I'm not home. Yeah. So
good
USPS
luck,
after
buddy.
all. You know what I mean? So all
right,
aloha, everybody.
Cheers.
All right, aloha, buddy.
Aloha.
All right, Keith. Hey guys, I'm out too. I'm gonna take my kids to the beach. It's beach day today, so we're good.
Enjoy.
Have fun.
Thanks
for stopping by, man. Really appreciate you coming in, and it's been a lot of fun having you too. So much good stuff to talk about.
Oh man, we can go all day, dude. It's too much fun.
I'm afraid so. All
right, guys. I'll see you guys a bit. Have a good day.
Thank you for coming.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Of course, guys. Take care.
Then there was 4.
And then there was 4.
And now we are 4.
Wow.
Which one am I on?
You're I sent an invite to Bill, I guess. I don't know. Well, maybe I didn't.
Wow. Gareth, you were going to say something, buddy.
I was going to say something. You guys talk about FPV drones and whatnot. I found a military FPV drone for reconnaissance called a Black Hornet. Have you heard about it? I think it's Swedish.
Is it?
I think it's tiny. I'm not joking when I say it's tiny.
Is it like the little helicopter thing?
Yes.
Does it come flat packed?
Oh, I've seen that before.
Yeah, it says, hang on a second. Let's see if I can. I'm going to turn the volume off.
Yeah,
but
I've seen this before. Yeah.
This is about 18 grand a pop.
Oh, I have seen this. This thing's awesome. This is army. This is military.
Yeah. This is military grade one.
Have you seen this, Chuck? This thing is epic.
This thing is nuts.
Yes, I have seen that. That's military grade, and this is the stuff that like in the movie Spider-Man, they use something like this to do what they did in the movie.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, I saw it, and it was I like my bigger drones like the Predator and Reaper drones, but I found this. It was literally this thing repeats itself. But I just thought I found that and thought it was really interesting because you've got the army guys and they're using it to do surveillance and stuff.
It's true AI. Yeah, that's actually true AI, kind of like Skydio 2, but it's military level.
Yeah.
And it's
we were talking about drones for good. Yeah.
Oh, talking of drones and special things, did you see Ingenuity had its full flight today? It's got current airspeed record on Mars because it went really quick. I think it went up to like 5 meters a second, wasn't it? Something like that. It flew 130 meters and then flew 130 meters back. But it's flown, and they've got a video of it filming its shadow flying along the thing. So it's really cool, really cool.
I was going to say another thing to point out is that you got the Falcon 5 or Falcon 9 or whatever it is rockets, and they're catching ships. They're both drones too.
Yep, they are.
Oh yeah, the drone ships
explode.
Does anybody know?
Those are the best ones. It just lands and something goes wrong and it looks.
It's the Starship test.
A lot of money wasted, but like it looks cool.
It's the Starship test that blow me away, especially when it comes down and belly flops onto the ground. Have you seen it? And did you see the one where they successfully landed and everybody's going, "Hey, Starship landed! Where have we done it?" And then it just goes.
Well, I mean, you would rather it explode when in the middle of nowhere and no one's in it than on like a spacecraft to Mars.
It's nuts though. I mean, they belly flop it to within 1,000 feet. I think initially they started off at 500 feet. This thing is belly flopping down, and then right at the last second it gimbals the rocket motors, and then it rights itself. But it's nuts because SM-15 was meant to fly yesterday, and they scrubbed it. I'm not sure why. Bearing in mind the last one flew in the mist, So they go, oh, it's flying, oh, it's coming down, oh, it's landing, and then you just see this big red ball light because there was mist. It was going, oh, I don't think it landed successfully. Oh, you think?
It's the Northern Lights. Don't worry about it.
I always feel bad for them when they don't land. I'm always like, come on. And they're like, kaboom.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Keith, you ought to plug. While Gareth is here, you two ought to plug. You're one short of Monkey Nut Punch. You should at least plug it.
We do. We're not doing one tomorrow, but we do have a Monkey Nut Punch podcast over on the Monkey Nut Punch channel. We also have Gaming Face Punch, where we put out a few videos on that at the moment as well.
I think you guys ought to do.
Yeah,
I saw do some like flight sim stuff and.
Yeah.
Liftoff would be good for us drone dudes. You want to bring
VR.
us over?
I was hoping for it to be VR. And I went and had a check and no VR.
Yeah.
Does it not support VR?
Sure.
It would make absolute sense for it to. Well, it would make sense that it supported just maybe not full VR, but that goggle.
What to support VR?
Liftoff
on the PS4.
Oh, why doesn't it support VR?
Well, it didn't say on the website. Well, I got the right website, might the wrong.
I
website.
wanted it to support AR. Like, I wish I could get my Moverio glasses to work with flight sim and stuff. That'd be cool.
We just say, blind Neil, what range can I get with the Spark just using the phone? If you're talking the Spark,
about 100 feet.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
But buddy,
depends on interference.
Just as I've flown with my phone before and the Spark, and it just as a principle, it's impossible because there's no physical joysticks, and even if you could fly on your phone, flying it any further than 50 feet away is not only gonna kill your connection, but it's actually dangerous to the point where I wouldn't fly it too far because you can't control it that well.
I had better luck with mine.
Bless you. My first drone was a Parrot AR2 drone, and you flew that off your phone. And the fact that I could get it 30 meters away, that was amazing to me. And then when I got the Spark, I waited until they bought the Fly More kit for the Spark, and I bought it with the remote. And the fact that I could get it to go like a lot bloody further than that, it was. Go on,
yeah,
I
would recommend getting the remote. It's not that expensive on eBay, and it's definitely worth the money. I don't think you should fly with the Spark without the controller. I don't know why they don't sell the two together. It's stupid. In my opinion.
I remember when you had your Parrot drone because they were filming Star Wars in line near us, and we could have used that to fly over the studio because the Millennium Falcon was there, and you'd had people in the newspapers where they snuck on site.
We tried.
Yes, I know. We drove and we drove. We were going to try and go into a bloody car park for a golf course to see if we could see it, but they closed it off. When you come around next, we'll have to get your drone and fly over the studios to see what we can get. That'll make an interesting video.
Yes. You're right, actually, yeah. And there is, and most of that zone is not zoned off. Last time I checked, which is interesting. I think when they get filming though, they do zone it off. I'm not sure, but certainly with the rest of Longcross isn't because there's no local airport near there. I think, well, the closest one is Heathrow, but that's more than 5 miles away.
The closest one's Fair Oaks. It's the nearest one.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Sorry, it's local knowledge.
Sorry.
Run off about local knowledge. But either way, next time you pop over, weekend, fly your drone over the studios and see what they're filming. Hopefully we'll see something exciting.
We had some promising news this week, whereas things were looking pretty bleak. We are in the middle of another lockdown, but where things were looking pretty bleak. Yeah, don't get me started. But whereas a couple of weeks ago it was looking quite bleak, it is now looking promising in the fact that not only have we got vaccine passports coming, which should allow us to avoid the mandatory 14-day quarantine, because me and my wife stuck in a single hotel room for 14 days. We won't be married after that. Trust me, no one will be. No one will be. but they're bringing vaccines here now. It looks like we're finally getting the vaccine. So, and my old man, because one of the biggest fears was my dad getting it. He's been vaccinated today, so second vaccine. So in a week or so, he will have full immunity, or as much as you can with the Pfizer one, I think. But anyway, guys, I think we have gone on quite a long while. And it's been a long stream. It's been our longest and biggest stream with so many people on it, and getting Aldrin on was a surprise. Well done there, Chuck. You know, he did it. He did it. You're a pester. You pester people, but it's worked. And Gareth, thanks for turning up.
Oh, I hope I wasn't.
Yeah, Gareth, thanks for showing up.
Yeah,
Gareth, it was nice to see. Yeah, I mean, usually I see you on Sunday mornings and stuff with Keith and Nige.
I spoke to Keith earlier, and the way he made it was like no one was going to turn up. You had no plans. You didn't know what you're doing.
We didn't. Like, we literally didn't have any idea who was
going to show up.
It's like I messaged Henry yesterday, and I was like, Henry, we're going to do a stream because some inconsiderate person's going on holiday next week when we're meant to be doing the stream. So we couldn't do it. So then we were like, okay, we'll do one tomorrow. Look, we haven't got anything to talk about. Oh, we'll just wing it. I said to Chuck, and it's like, oh, let's just get a few guests on. We'll put it out there. We won't be sure who anyone comes. The next thing I know, it's like Chuck was like, he messaged me earlier. He was like, we might have a few people on there. And then all these people are just popping in as guests. I'm like, okay.
It was me and Keith for like the first half an hour of just waiting. Like Keith came on.
Keith's Mac blew up, basically.
Yeah, and he came on late. me and Chuck were sitting here like, oh great.
Yeah, look at this message right here from Chris. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you gotta get on the Roomba. Actually, I gotta get on a brake job, supposedly.
Yes, you've got to fix those brakes before you go driving around mountains.
In the mountains? Yeah, I think the Chevy's going to need some good brakes.
There's one thing I was glad that our brakes were serviced just before we went to Kovaction, because that I think I showed you the track the other day, didn't I? I showed you that video of the guy falling off his bike on this track, going, "Yeah, I drove down that."
Right off the mountain,
dude. I mean, he's still there now. Funny enough. He's now started messaging me, and he's going, you wait for my next video. I did it again, and I know what he did it in because I know who he rented he did it in a Jeep, and I know who he rented the Jeep off. So he's actually now completed that road, but it was an interesting road. It really was. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching our stream. You're the host this week, Chuck. You close it off.
Ooh, I will close it off. I'm going to go around the room and let everybody say their goodbyes. We'll start with our newest guest, Gareth. Gareth, take it away, man.
Happy International Droning Day. And I hope you celebrated International Droning Day like I celebrated International Women's Day by going to Spearmint Rhinos and spending £480. English.
Taking the piss again.
Sorry.
I don't even know if they know what spearmint rhino is, but I used to pass it every day on my web trip to work. Anyway.
Smile and nod, Henry. Smile and nod, man. It's the American thing to do. Yeah.
Henry, you don't want to know what that is. You're way too young.
Trust me. I'll make you a man. Give me 480 quid and evening out.
Oh, God. All right.
Anyway, moving on.
Henry, to you, sir.
Yeah.
Plug yourself.
All right. Yep. So I'm Henry Robotic on YouTube. I do drone videos, leak videos, that sort of stuff. Go check me out. And thank you as always for having me on stream. It was fun.
We love having you here. You're our producer.
And I'm
still got to figure this stuff out.
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah. I'm Keith from the K-Spot. You can check out my channel. I've got a video that's in serious need of some love at the moment. I've got FPV tips for Mavic pilots or GPS drone pilots. Check that out. I am going to release a video on the Air 2S this week, which might actually interest a few because I've got a bit of a different take on this drone.
I'm looking forward to that.
Anyway, yes, thank you for watching. Chuck.
Keith.
What channel are you from, buddy?
I am from Kovaction Droneography, and I am into cinematic footage, and I've been dabbling in a couple of how-tos and some product reviews, but I just love making stuff that people like to watch. So feel free to check out my channel anytime you like. Comment, tell me what you like. Be bold and tell me what you'd like to see that I'm not doing. And stop by and subscribe, please. And thanks to everybody for watching today. Thanks to all the great people that came on to be with us today. 808 State, Artcode Drone Solutions, Aldrin from Flight Path, and it's just
it was great.
Yeah. And
happy International Drone Day, everybody. I hope everybody gets some chance to fly, get some airtime.
One thing, if you missed the beginning of the stream when Art first came on, go and check out Artco Drone Solutions and join up on his channel because I believe in what he's doing. It's a great thing. So go and support that if you can. And obviously check out 808 Drones and John Coopy's channel and Flight Path. Not that we need to plug him.
Yeah, John Coopy, and basically, John Coopy. Most of these guys that were on today we've met through Droning On, which is another great channel. If you've been living under a rock, you don't know about them, but it's okay. And then Coast to Coast Drones, which is Bill Thomas, has been just amazing to us in the community and took us in, me and Keith, and it's been great. So thanks to Coast Drones too.
Yes,
and everybody. The list is getting longer and longer. I don't know if I can.
I was watching Sean earlier, and before we go, I'll say Sean over at Geeksvana, who we had on last week. And the one thing I love about this droning community is that it doesn't matter how big the channel is, they rub shoulders with us little channels, and everyone seems to be cool about it, and just ordinary guys who love to fly drones, and that's certainly with Aldrin, certainly with B when we had him on, and Sean and everyone else that we've come into contact with, Ken Dovo, and just everyone that we've come into contact with. So it's been amazing. So guys, thank you for watching. Thanks for
if you haven't already subscribed to 2K Drones, do it now.
It's free and
doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah,
it's free.
Go on. Sorry, Father Ted.
Close. Go, Keith. Actually, do the close, Keith. I know you feel.
No,
empty
go on. You do
it.
You
already got it. You got it. Go.
Okay. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. And bye-bye.
There we go. Peace out.
Wrong one.